She may not say it. She may even pretend she doesn't care. But when a woman's heart starts leaning toward you, her actions speak before her lips ever do. The problem is, most men are too distracted to notice. They chase, overthink, and miss the quiet signals she drops when no one's looking. Stay until the end, because the last sign, that's the one she can't fake, and once you see it, you'll never question her again. Radiant presence. The very first and perhaps the most foundational, deeply resonant, energetic indication that her spirit, her essence, is genuinely, favorably inclining towards you is the unmistakable, often luminous quality of her presence when she is in your company, in your shared energetic field. This is not merely or even primarily about her physical proximity to you, though that may be a component. It is, far more significantly, about a palpable, almost tangible radiance, a subtle yet discernible aliveness, a unique vibrancy that seems to emanate from the very core of her being when your energies consciously or unconsciously engage and interact. I invite you to observe, with keen yet gentle awareness, the subtle, often almost imperceptible shifts in her overall demeanor, her energetic signature. Is there an discernible lightness in her posture, an almost imperceptible inner glow that seems to illuminate her from within, a heightened vibrancy that seems to infuse her entire being when you share space or interact? This is frequently an unconscious, authentic manifestation of her inner world, responding positively, harmoniously, and expansively to your specific energetic field, to the unique frequency you emit. Her autonomic nervous system may be subtly, yet profoundly, relaxing in your presence, allowing her most authentic, unguarded self to emerge more freely, more joyfully, more completely. Her eyes, so often and so aptly called the windows to the soul, may hold a particular unmistakable brightness, a sustained, gentle, yet focused engagement when she looks at you. A look that seems to see beyond the superficial layers, beyond the social masks, a look that perhaps lingers for a moment or two longer than mere polite, social convention would typically dictate. This is not the fleeting, impersonal glance of casual acquaintance or polite indifference, but rather a gaze that carries a certain discernible depth, a hint of genuine curiosity, an unspoken invitation, perhaps even a touch of tender, courageous vulnerability. Her laughter, if and when it comes, may feel noticeably more genuine, more spontaneous, more unrestrained and joyful, a heartfelt expression that arises easily, authentically, and effortlessly in your shared energetic space, free from affectation or polite performance. Even her silences, those quiet interludes when you are together, may feel surprisingly comfortable, perhaps even pleasantly charged with a quiet, unspoken connection, a shared sense of ease rather than being filled with awkwardness, tension, or a palpable desire to disengage and create distance. This quality of radiant, authentic presence is an incredibly powerful, albeit often subtle, energetic signature. It strongly suggests that being in your company, sharing your energy, genuinely nourishes her spirit on some deep level, that your presence evokes a positive, expansive, and life-affirming state within her being. The hard, often overlooked truth is that many of us, in our fast-paced, externally focused lives, frequently overlook these profoundly significant, subtle, energetic cues, searching instead for more overt, more dramatic, more easily quantifiable gestures of interest or affection, but the true, deep language of genuine human attraction, of soul resonance, is often whispered, not shouted, in these subtle, nuanced shifts of energy, in the almost invisible yet palpable aura of well-being, joy, and aliveness that a person naturally, unconsciously radiates when they feel a genuine, harmonious resonance with another being. If she consistently, authentically brings this heightened, almost luminous quality of vibrant presence to your interactions, it is indeed a strong, reliable indication that her inner world, her deeper self, is favorably, joyfully disposed towards you, that your unique energy is, in some significant and positive way, a welcome, resonant, and perhaps even subtly, delightfully enlivening influence upon her spirit. This is not about her putting on a performative charm or engaging in calculated flirtation. It is rather an authentic, spontaneous emanation from the very core of her being, a quiet, luminous signal that your presence is a space where her spirit feels genuinely seen, profoundly safe, deeply understood, and perhaps even subtly, wonderfully, joyfully awakened to new possibilities. This radiant presence, this inner blossoming in your company, is often the soul's subtle, beautiful way of acknowledging the warmth and resonance of an emerging authentic connection. Undivided attention. Flowing naturally, almost inevitably, from this cultivated or spontaneously arising radiant presence is the second highly significant and deeply meaningful indicator of her burgeoning interest, the precious, increasingly rare gift of her consistent, undivided attention. In a world that is utterly saturated with endless, clamoring distractions, a world where true, focused, present moment attention has tragically become an increasingly scarce and therefore infinitely precious commodity, a woman who consistently, willingly offers you her full, unwavering, present moment awareness when you are together is in fact communicating something incredibly profound and deeply significant about her perception of you and the potential of your connection. This is not merely or superficially about her politely putting down her phone when you are speaking, though that, of course, is a fundamental baseline of common courtesy and respect in any interaction. It is, far more profoundly, about a deeper, more encompassing level of genuine engagement, a palpable, almost tangible sense of her entire being, her mind, her heart, her spirit, being fully, willingly tuned into you, into your words, into your energy, into your unique essence. I encourage you to observe with mindful awareness how she listens when you share. Does she listen with her whole being, not just with her ears, but with her eyes, her posture, her subtle, energetic responses? Do her eyes remain predominantly, gently focused on you, reflecting genuine interest and engagement, not restlessly darting around the room, scanning for other stimuli, or glazing over with discernible preoccupation or boredom? Does she ask thoughtful, insightful, clarifying questions that clearly demonstrate she is not just passively hearing the surface level of your words, but is truly, actively processing your deeper meaning, genuinely seeking to understand your unique perspective, your inner world on a more profound and intimate level? Does she, perhaps? Remember and recall small, seemingly insignificant details from your previous conversations, specific things you might have mentioned in passing, anecdotes you shared, indicating that your words have not only been heard, but have genuinely registered, resonated with her, and been retained in her memory and heart. This remarkable quality of sustained, undivided attention is, in itself, a powerful, undeniable act of conscious, energetic investment in you and in the nascent connection. It clearly signifies that, in those shared moments, you are for her a distinct priority, that what you are sharing, who you are being, holds genuine interest, significance, and value for her. She is consciously, or perhaps even more powerfully, unconsciously, choosing to direct her most precious, finite life force, her focused mental energy, her receptive emotional energy, her very presence, towards you, towards the shared space you are co-creating. This stands in stark, illuminating contrast to the often scattered, fragmented, superficial, and ultimately dissatisfying attention that frequently characterizes casual, indifferent, or purely transactional interactions in our modern age. The hard, often unacknowledged truth is that many of us have become so tragically accustomed to receiving and giving only superficial, partial engagement that we may not even fully recognize, much less deeply appreciate, the profound significance, the sacredness of another human being offering us the precious gift of their complete, unwavering, heartfelt focus. We may easily mistake mere politeness or social obligation for genuine, deep interest. But true, undivided attention, the kind that emanates from an interested and open heart, carries an entirely different energetic weight, a palpable resonance. It feels profoundly different to both the giver and the receiver. It creates within you a deep, nourishing sense of being truly seen, genuinely heard, profoundly understood, and authentically valued for who you are. If she consistently, willingly creates this sacred container of focused, receptive presence for you during your interactions, it strongly, powerfully suggests that she is not merely passing time with you, not just being polite, but is genuinely intrigued by your being, authentically engaged by your mind and spirit, and courageously, openly receptive to connecting with you on a far more meaningful, intimate, and potentially transformative level. This offering of her most precious, irreplaceable resource, her focused, loving awareness, is a silent yet incredibly eloquent testament to an emerging, authentic affinity, a clear, luminous signal that she is consciously, willingly investing her energy, her time, and her heart in the burgeoning potential of a deeper, more significant connection between you. This focused, unwavering gaze is, in essence, a gentle, respectful invitation into the sacred landscape of her inner world, and simultaneously a clear indication of her courageous willingness to truly, authentically enter, explore, and honor yours. Effortless flow. A third subtle yet remarkably powerful and often undeniable sign of her burgeoning, authentic interest frequently, almost magically, manifests in the discernible quality, the energetic texture of your shared conversations, specifically in the spontaneous, joyful emergence of an effortless, harmonious, and deeply satisfying conversational flow between you. When there is a genuine underlying energetic resonance, a vibrational alignment between two individuals, their communication often transcends the mundane, the superficial, the purely transactional, and begins to take on a vibrant, captivating life of its own, becoming a source of mutual delight, discovery, and connection. I invite you to observe with gentle yet discerning awareness if your dialogues with her consistently feel remarkably easy, wonderfully natural, joyfully spontaneous, and entirely unforced, as if you are both effortlessly riding the same smooth, engaging current of thought and feeling. Do diverse topics of conversation arise organically, flowing smoothly and logically one into the other with a palpable sense of natural, unlabored progression, rather than feeling like a disconnected, awkward series of stilted, interview-style questions and polite but ultimately empty answers? Do you frequently find yourselves easily, intuitively building upon each other's expressed thoughts, shared ideas, and personal anecdotes, perhaps even at times surprisingly, delightfully finishing each other's sentences or articulating a shared insight in a way that feels remarkably, uncannily attuned and deeply resonant? Is there consistently a comfortable, natural, and equitable balance in your conversations between speaking and listening, with both of you feeling equally safe, equally encouraged, and equally able to authentically express yourselves, and simultaneously, equally, genuinely interested in truly hearing and understanding what the other has to share? This quality of effortless conversational flow is very often characterized by frequent, delightful moments of shared, genuine laughter that feels entirely spontaneous, uninhibited, and mutually uplifting. It is also marked by comfortable, companionable silences that are filled not with awkward tension or a desperate searching for words, but rather with a quiet, unspoken understanding, a shared sense of ease, and a peaceful, resonant connection. Furthermore, when this flow is present, there is often a subjective sense of time itself seeming to dissolve, to lose its usual relentless tyranny when you are deeply engaged in conversation with her. Hours can feel like mere minutes. It consistently feels less like hard work, less like a self-conscious performance or a strategic social maneuver, and much more like a joyful, spontaneous, and profoundly energizing exchange of ideas, feelings, and authentic presence. This is an incredibly significant energetic indicator because it strongly, powerfully suggests a fundamental, underlying compatibility, a deep vibrational alignment between your respective ways of thinking, of feeling, of perceiving the world, and of expressing your inner selves. The hard, often undeniable truth that we have all experienced at times is that when there is a significant lack of genuine, mutual interest, a fundamental energetic dissonance, or a profound lack of underlying resonance between two people, their conversations can often feel incredibly stilted, painfully laborious, disappointingly superficial, or uncomfortably one-sided. There might be frequent, long, and excruciatingly uncomfortable pauses, a constant, desperate searching for safe or engaging topics, or a palpable, draining feeling that one person is shouldering the entire, heavy weight of sustaining the interaction, while the other remains passive, disengaged, or merely polite. But when her authentic energy, her genuine interest is truly willingly inclining towards you, there is almost invariably a natural, discernible buoyancy, an unmistakable spark of mutual curiosity and delight, a palpable synergy in your interactions that makes the conversation feel genuinely alive, deeply engaging, mutually nourishing, and effortlessly enjoyable for both of you. She will likely actively, enthusiastically contribute her own unique thoughts, perspectives, and personal experiences with a discernible degree of openness and vulnerability, and she will consistently demonstrate genuine, active curiosity about yours, asking insightful questions and truly listening to your responses. This quality of effortless conversational flow is not, it must be stressed, about having perfectly identical opinions on every conceivable subject, nor is it about a complete absence of differing viewpoints. It is rather about a fundamental, palpable ease, a deep mutual enjoyment, and a profound sense of shared understanding in the very process of exchanging diverse perspectives, a pervasive, reassuring feeling that you intuitively get each other on some deep, unspoken intuitive level, even amidst your differences. It is, in essence, the unmistakable energetic signature of two spirits beginning to joyfully, harmoniously resonate with each other, a clear, luminous signal that the sacred space being co-created between you is rapidly becoming a fertile, nurturing ground for the blossoming of genuine, authentic connection, deep mutual discovery, and potentially profound, lasting intimacy. This shared, easy rhythm, this conversational dance, is often the beautiful, audible sound of two energies, two souls, beginning to move in joyful, spontaneous synchrony, subtle initiation. As her authentic interest in you, her comfort level in your presence, and her trust in your character begin to steadily, organically grow and deepen. A fourth significant, albeit often quite subtle, indicator may begin to consistently emerge in your interactions. Discernible, albeit perhaps understated, acts of gentle, non-aggressive initiation on her part. In the often delicate, nuanced, and sometimes tentative dance of early connection, particularly in cultural contexts where traditional gender dynamics and courtship scripts may still hold some unconscious sway or conscious influence, a woman who is genuinely, authentically interested in pursuing a deeper connection will often, quite naturally, find gentle, respectful, and non-demanding ways to subtly bridge the existing distance between you, to consciously maintain and nurture the burgeoning connection, or to gracefully, skillfully create natural, unforced opportunities for further mutually enjoyable interaction. This form of initiation is rarely, if ever, overtly aggressive, demanding, or pressuring. It is rather more akin to a nuanced, gentle, energetic leaning in, a subtle yet clear invitation for you to meet her halfway. I encourage you to observe with heightened yet respectful awareness if she occasionally, spontaneously initiates contact with you, perhaps by sending a thoughtful, personalized message that shows she's been thinking of you, by sharing an article, a piece of music, or a humorous meme that she genuinely believes you might find interesting or enjoyable, or by finding a natural, unforced reason to reach out and connect, even if briefly. Does she perhaps make a discernible, albeit subtle effort to be present in places or at events where she knows you might also be, not of course in any way that feels intrusive, stalkerish, or manipulative, but rather in a way that organically, gracefully increases the natural chances of your paths serendipitously crossing? When you are already together sharing time and space, does she subtly, skillfully prolong the interaction, perhaps by asking another engaging question, just when the conversation seems to be naturally winding down, or by spontaneously, enthusiastically suggesting a delightful continuation of your shared time together if the context and energy feel right and appropriate for such an invitation? Does she consciously, gracefully create clear, unambiguous openings for future connection, perhaps by casually yet intentionally mentioning an upcoming event she's planning to attend that she intuits you might also genuinely enjoy? Or by expressing a sincere desire to try a particular activity, visit a certain place, or explore a shared interest that you have previously, perhaps casually, discussed together? These subtle yet significant acts of initiation are incredibly powerful indicators because they clearly, unequivocally signify a courageous willingness on her part to consciously step beyond a stance of purely passive receptivity, waiting for you to make all the moves, and to actively, intentionally invest her own precious energy, time, and emotional vulnerability in the burgeoning potential of the connection between you. They are her gentle, often courageous way of silently yet clearly signaling that she genuinely enjoys your company, values your presence, and is openly, perhaps even eagerly, receptive to, and possibly even desirous of, more frequent, deeper, and more meaningful interaction. The hard, often overlooked truth is that men are frequently, from a young age, conditioned by societal norms and traditional gender roles to perceive themselves as the primary, if not sole, initiators in romantic or relational pursuits. As a result, they may tragically overlook, dismiss, or completely misinterpret these more subtle, nuanced, and often very courageous feminine invitations for deeper connection. They might be unconsciously waiting for a loud, dramatic, unmistakable, and perhaps even aggressive signal of interest from her, while she, in her own unique way, is consistently, gracefully offering a series of gentle, thoughtful, and deeply meaningful, nuanced cues. To accurately perceive and appropriately respond to these subtle yet powerful initiations requires a heightened level of mindful awareness, a profound sensitivity to the delicate energetic undercurrents of human interaction, and a courageous willingness to see beyond conventional, often outdated courtship scripts and gender stereotypes. If she is consistently, authentically finding small, natural, and respectful ways to keep the energetic connection alive and flowing between you, to consciously create organic opportunities for shared interaction, or to genuinely, warmly express her sincere enjoyment of your time together, it is indeed a very strong, reliable indication that she is not merely passively responding to your expressed interest in her, but is actively, consciously, albeit perhaps subtly and with appropriate caution, reciprocating that interest from a place of genuine feeling. This is her authentic spirit, her courageous heart, gently, respectfully reaching out towards yours, cautiously testing the waters of mutual interest, and gracefully, hopefully inviting you to meet her in that sacred, emerging space of shared possibility. This gentle, often understated beckoning is frequently her heart's way of cautiously, courageously opening its delicate, precious gates to the potential of a deeper, more meaningful bond. Vulnerable sharing, a fifth and often significantly more profound and revealing indicator of her steadily growing trust in you, her deepening comfort with your presence, and her burgeoning authentic interest in a more meaningful connection, is her increasing, courageous willingness to share more personal, intimate, and genuinely vulnerable aspects of herself, her life, and her inner world with you. As any significant human connection gradually deepens beyond the often superficial, carefully guarded pleasantries of initial acquaintance, individuals who begin to feel genuinely safe, truly seen, deeply understood, and authentically respected by another will often, quite naturally and organically, begin to slowly, cautiously lower their protective emotional walls, allowing the other person cherished, privileged glimpses into the sacred, often hidden landscape of their true inner world, their most cherished hopes, their deepest, most private fears, their formative past experiences, both joyful and painful, their most precious dreams for the future, their core values, and their unique perspectives on life. This is not, it is crucial to understand, about impulsive, indiscriminate oversharing, emotional dumping, or a needy, attention-seeking display of past traumas, which can often be a sign of poor personal boundaries, unresolved emotional issues, or a lack of emotional self-regulation. Rather, this authentic vulnerable sharing, when it arises from a place of genuine trust and emerging intimacy, is typically a thoughtful, gradual, and reciprocal unfolding, a precious, courageous offering of her most authentic, unadorned self to you. I invite you to observe with deep respect and gentle awareness if she gradually begins to share personal stories from her life that reveal more about her true character, her deeply held values, her significant life struggles, her moments of resilience, and her cherished, hard-won triumphs. Does she begin to entrust you with her genuine, unfiltered opinions and perspectives on more meaningful, substantive subjects, moving beyond purely casual, superficial pleasantries and into the realm of more significant, thought-provoking dialogue? Does she begin to express her authentic, often complex feelings to you, even if those feelings are not always positive, easy, or comfortable to share, such as sadness, anger, fear, or disappointment, in a way that clearly suggests she trusts you implicitly to receive them with profound understanding, genuine empathy, and unwavering non-judgment? Does she perhaps share some of her most cherished aspirations, her deepest passions, her most heartfelt longings, or perhaps even some of her lingering insecurities or perceived imperfections in a way that courageously invites genuine, heartfelt connection and mutual understanding rather than seeking pity, validation, or a needy desire to be rescued or fixed by you? This courageous, often incremental act of vulnerable sharing is an incredibly significant milestone in the development of any deep and meaningful relationship, because it unequivocally signals a profound, burgeoning level of trust, emotional safety, and authentic connection being established between you. She is, in essence, silently yet powerfully communicating to you, "I feel genuinely, deeply safe enough with you. I trust your character and your intentions enough to courageously show you more of who I truly authentically am beneath the surface, beyond the social masks, in all my imperfect human complexity." The hard, often humbling truth is that genuine, authentic vulnerability is an immense act of courage, a sacred offering of the self, and it is therefore rarely, if ever, offered lightly, casually, or indiscriminately. If she is consciously, willingly choosing to share these more tender, personal, and often deeply guarded parts of her inner being, her life story, her soul, with you, it is indeed an exceptionally strong, reliable indication that she perceives you as someone who is genuinely trustworthy, deeply empathetic, consistently respectful, and emotionally mature. Qualities that are absolutely essential for the foundation of any deep, lasting, and meaningful human connection. It strongly suggests that she intuitively sees the potential within your connection for a bond that transcends the superficial, the transactional, the purely physical. A sacred connection where she feels she can truly, fully, and safely be her most authentic, unadorned self without the pervasive fear of judgment, ridicule, misunderstanding, or rejection. Your sacred role, if you are fortunate and honored enough to receive such a precious, vulnerable offering from her heart, is to meet it with the utmost unwavering respect, with profound, active, and compassionate listening, and with an absolute, unconditional commitment to non-judgment and acceptance. The way you consciously, thoughtfully respond to her courageous acts of vulnerability will either powerfully deepen the existing trust and courageously encourage further openness and intimacy between you, or it will, tragically, cause her to quickly, painfully retreat, to defensively reinforce her protective emotional walls, and perhaps to permanently withdraw that sacred trust. This precious, sacred offering of her authentic inner world is a profound, luminous testament to the deep sense of safety, genuine resonance, and profound respect she increasingly feels in your authentic, unwavering presence. This gentle, courageous unfurling of her soul is her way of cautiously, hopefully, testing the sacred waters of deeper, more profound intimacy with you. Energetic alignment. Finally, A sixth and perhaps most encompassing overarching indicator, one that subtly yet powerfully embraces and integrates many of the other, more specific signs we have explored, is the consistent, palpable sense of profound energetic alignment that you both experience when you are together. A deeply felt, often unspoken feeling that your individual energies, your very beings, are not only harmonizing beautifully, but are also subtly, yet significantly, supporting, uplifting, and even inspiring each other towards greater wholeness and joy. This is, perhaps, the most intuitive, the most subtle, and the least easily quantifiable of all the signs, yet it is often, for those who are attuned to such things, the most powerful, the most reliable, and the most deeply convincing. It is a felt sense, a deep intuitive inner knowing, a cellular resonance that naturally, spontaneously arises when two human beings are genuinely, authentically connecting on multiple, integral levels of their being: the physical, the emotional, the mental, and perhaps most profoundly, the spiritual. I invite you to observe, not just with your mind, but with your whole body, your heart, your intuition, how you genuinely feel in her presence, and, if you are sufficiently attuned and sensitive, how she genuinely seems to feel in yours. Is there consistently a discernible, palpable sense of profound ease, of deep comfort, of undeniable rightness when you are sharing time and space together? Do you consistently feel genuinely energized, authentically inspired, noticeably uplifted, or deeply peaceful after spending time with her, rather than feeling inexplicably drained, subtly depleted, emotionally agitated, or mentally exhausted? Does it consistently, effortlessly feel as though you can truly, fully, and safely be your most authentic, unedited self around her without any need for pretense, performance, or the wearing of social masks? This profound energetic alignment often manifests as a delightful, natural synchronicity in your interactions, a shared sense of being on the same wavelength, of intuitively understanding each other without needing many words. You might frequently find yourselves having remarkably similar thoughts, expressing congruent insights almost simultaneously, or experiencing a deeply shared sense of humor, a common perspective on life, and a mutual appreciation for the same subtle beauties or absurdities in the world around you. There might be a palpable, unspoken feeling of deep mutual respect, genuine admiration, and authentic appreciation for each other's unique, individual qualities, strengths, and even charming quirks. Even disagreements or differences of opinion, if and when they naturally arise, may be navigated with a certain underlying current of profound respect, a genuine desire for mutual understanding and connection, and a shared commitment to finding harmonious resolution rather than quickly, destructively devolving into egoic battles, personal attacks, or damaging, resentful conflict. The hard, immutable truth is that this deep, authentic, energetic alignment, this soul resonance, simply cannot be faked, forced, manufactured, or intellectually engineered. It is either genuinely, palpably present between two people, or it is not. It is the subtle yet unmistakable, undeniable resonance that spontaneously, magically occurs when two souls are truly, deeply compatible, when their unique energetic fields are naturally, effortlessly harmonizing in a way that is profoundly mutually beneficial, deeply life-enhancing, and genuinely soul-nourishing. If you consistently, unmistakably experience this profound sense of deep, easeful, joyful alignment when you are with her, if being in her company consistently feels, on some fundamental intuitive level, like coming home to a place of profound peace, acceptance, and belonging, it is indeed one of the most profound, reliable, and sacred indications that her interest in you is genuine, deep, and authentic, and that there exists between you a strong, fertile, and sacred foundation upon which a truly meaningful, lasting, and transformative connection can be consciously, lovingly built. This is the subtle yet powerful language of the soul, speaking directly to your soul through the invisible, resonant currents of shared energy, clearly, luminously signaling a deep, intrinsic compatibility, a sacred recognition. This undeniable, deeply felt sense of rightness, this pervasive, energetic yes that permeates your interactions, is often the universe itself, your own deeper wisdom, gently, lovingly whispering its unequivocal approval of a connection that holds genuine, profound, and beautiful potential for both of you. This harmonious, resonant hum that you feel in your very bones when you are together is, quite simply, the sacred, joyful sound of two spirits, two souls, deeply, timelessly recognizing, honoring, and joyfully embracing each other.